Hello everybody, Dave Neal here, stand-up comic host of Bachelor Nation News. Let's jump right into this video here. Nick Viall, and when he knew that Natalie Joy was the one he was going to propose to, I'm going to share what he had to say about that, why maybe she got her hopes up that it was going to happen in Paris, and what their friends and family thought of the whole thing. So before I get into that aspect of the video, Nick has a new podcast studio. I love checking out people's podcast studios. This is so much fun. So we're going to check out his studio right now. We'll hear what he has to say, and we'll give it a little like sort of ranking score. But of course, I always appreciate when people jump out onto their own. I believe they were podcasting from Cast Media, which is the studio, like a studio space they go to. They probably have to pay, I don't know, 100, 200 bucks an hour to use the studio space, and maybe, you know, don't have the flexibility to book guests at certain times. So always good to have your own studio. Let's have a listen to what he says. And also don't forget, here in my studio, I've got podcasts every afternoon. Bachelor Rush Hour, the podcast. You can listen to all the nation's news in the Bachelor world, plus other pop culture and entertainment fodder. All right, let's get into it.
But this is kind of a new chapter for the Viall Files. It's a new studio. It's our studio. We are fully producing this show on our own, which is exciting, which we kind of already were doing on a lot of ways, but we really have taken ownership, and Allie and Amanda are now full-time employees. And Nick is giving us healthcare. And I'm giving you guys healthcare.
Very big deal here. So congratulations to the Viall Files team. I mean, credit where it's due to provide. Now, first of all, I think it's ridiculous that we live in a society where you as an employer are responsible for your employees' healthcare. I believe it should be a human right, something we all pay into. Maybe socialized medicine. Oh, Dave, how could you move to Montreal? You know what I mean?
Of a very adulting. We have Derek with us, our producer, who over time I'm sure you'll get to know. He's a gem. But you know, for me,
he's got two. Wait, hold on. Derek's his producer, and then he has two on-air talent. Do they have skeletons on him? Do they know secrets? Like, why are you employing this many people? No offense. And again, I'm not here to mess with anyone's job security. It's just, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure they provide value in other ways. Maybe they do social media or whatever, but it's a lot. It's just a lot, if you ask me.
It's been such a kind of pivotal time in my life with me proposing and this studio, and I'm so obviously grateful for all the people listening. You know, I don't think of this as just a show anymore. This is my life. This is my career. It's such an important thing to me, and I just wanted to share. Natalie and I just wanted to share kind of our story with you guys. And
now, look, I'm going to be a little critical here for those listening on the podcast. Maybe you can't see what I'm talking about, but I'm going to be a little critical because, look, if they're watching, I think it's always good to improve. Whenever you have a new studio, you have to listen to the sounds. There's some like crinkling noise happening in the background. I don't know if it's what it is. Either way, they've got great boom mic stands and the Shure SM7B, which is a nice $400 microphone. So the audio sounds great.
We're so grateful for all the kind messages and the people who have sent us notes.
You know what it is? They might have recorded this while it was raining outside. That might be what it is.
And who enjoy it, or if it, you know, whatever it brings you, maybe just an outlet or something to do. If it brings you any happiness, great. We're so just thankful. And I guess we just wanted to share our story and talk about it, and hopefully you guys enjoy it. So yeah,
it's like I feel like it's been big startup energy, you know.
So they're excited, big startup energy. My other piece of advice here is get rid of this boom arm right here. This is the boom arm for a table mic stand. So you take your microphone and you can just take the boom arm off and just set it right down there. That way you don't have it kind of distracting coming to the camera. Simple tip for you right there.
You know, just getting everything set up, and it's like the listeners are the earliest investors, and it's very cool that we're at this like new juncture, and it's so much because like there's a very cool community of people out there picking up what we're putting down.
I don't want to cry because I've already did that in this episode, but yeah, I'm really just so grateful for everyone.
I can understand what he's going through as far as the investment he's making. Like you said, this isn't just a show. This is his life, so congratulations. Another thing here, he's got the mic. He's got the XLR cord looped around. Find a way to get tension and get that out of the way. Just simple ways to maybe not distract your audience. My other lighting advice would be the 3-point lighting system. 3-point lighting lighting is the industry standard with a key light, a backlight, and a fill light. The key light's the light that goes directly on the subjects. We don't have a strong key light happening here. Hold on, where did it go? We don't have like a strong light happening here, and there's no fill light, or I'm sorry, backlight, which would be what comes up from behind. Now, I don't have that because I have a green screen, so everything has to be lit equally. But excuse me, but if you look at other really successful podcasts, like this one right here by Chris Williamson, he's got lighting behind, lighting up the brick. And he's got, you know, these really beautiful close-up shots, and it's actually on a tracker. It looks like one of those automatic glides that moves the camera. Now, obviously, this is next level. He's got 657,000 subscribers. But if you have your own studio, yeah, put in a backlight, get a nice soft light on the subject, and I would worry less about having like that wide 3-shot. Like they've got, see the backlight they have here and all that. Same thing with your mom's house, right? Your mom's house. I'm sorry, your mom and dad's different podcast. Your mom and dad here, of course, the Chatty Broads sort of spinoff. You've got beautiful lighting happening where you've got these nice colors that kind of keep the subject feeling off of the wall. That's what the light does. It adds a dimension. Either way, take it or leave it. That's my advice, would be to lay off the, and again, the podcast is new. I would lay off the sort of shadowy, sort of like, kind of like omni light. It all feels like the light's coming from this one direct spot. Really get specific lights in each direction. That way the camera will pick up more details. And also, I don't like the chairs. Again, this is me being picky. I'm just not a fan of the chairs. When I start my podcast, well, like when I get the podcast in the barn, when I build a barn, I'm going to get one batch of these chairs. Just something that's comfortable but not too bulky. I feel like that's at Pottery Barn, so we'll get those one day. A nice Irving roll arm leather swivel armchair. That's right. Anyway, these are all constructive criticism or constructive feedback. I think the audio is really good, and I think it's really smart that they're investing. It's all a tax write-off. Build a beautiful set, write the taxes off.
Who's ever listened, and this show is my life, and it means so much to me, and our ability to talk to you guys, and having met so many.
I also don't like the candles or the rugs.
And speaking of new kind of next step in our journey on the Viall Files, as we mentioned before on Freestyle, tonight is the premiere of Better Date Than Never.
So we don't care about that, but I will say, Nick, you should also get rid of the VF for your tagline here. It's just, you don't need that. Like, it should be your face. When someone's scrolling through, they want to associate it with your face. Like VF, I thought that meant Victoria Fuller, like Viall Files. It's the brand, I don't think really should be in the icon right there. And also, yeah, I would lay off of this wide shot. I don't know. It's just too much. You're too far apart to get this. I don't know. It's just me. I would work on that. But like I said, these table mics, definitely work on that. And, I don't know. Maybe, I mean, look, I'm sure you're not going to be changing the couch and the whole setup anytime soon. You got these sound panels, which are nice. Maybe just some sort of rope light behind everything to give it more pop. And then, like I said, find a way to get a light source that gets a little bit closer onto you, because you're going to be the main subject here.
I'm in and give your feedback. It's fun to listen to the show. We'll figure out a way for you guys. Maybe it's premium content or something like that. But I hope you guys check it out. It's going to be a ton of fun, a lot of fun. And it's also, we want off the cuff, and
I'm not gonna deny it.
Allie is like one of the most fun people to like have a cocktail.
All right, good. So let's get into it. 1529. Thank you for listening to me discuss podcast studios. Hey, they're always fun to look at how people do theirs.
Ready for a proposal.
So Natalie joins him, and they talk about knowing when they were ready for a proposal.
Because like we definitely talked a lot about it. Like it wasn't one like, for me, I think everyone's different in terms of like how they go about getting engaged, how they go about like, do they ring shop together? Is it more of a like, it's coming, or is it a total surprise? I didn't want it to be a total surprise in a sense. Like I wanted us to be on the same page. But once I knew we were ready, then I wanted it to be a surprise. Like I wanted to not have her like wake up and know that like today's the day I'm getting engaged type of thing. So yeah, we talked a lot about it. I mean, I think we started talking about it, I think the beginning of last year.
Yeah. How did it first come up? Like who kind of breached the topic? Do you remember?
I mean, I have just always been
annoying in the sense that like
also same thing here with her XLR cord. It's you can pull them through the mic. You can pull it through. So you always want a little bit of tension for when you're moving it so that it doesn't pull. You want a little bit of extra slack there, but you got to pull that through.
Even when we weren't talking about, like, obviously I moved out here, we lived together, like our plan was to spend the rest of our lives together.
And ditch the candles. It's too hot. But her lighting's really good here.
We talked about it or not.
So her lighting's good. Just a little backlight to kind of pop her off of the wall.
And so I would like send him TikToks of like rings and be like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like, did not mean to send that to you. Just like disregard. And proposal videos or whatever. So he obviously knew that I was there. And then I think you brought it up on like a walk one day or in our backyard. And you were like, okay, don't think too much into this. But
you're
you were saying this to me. Yeah. You're like, don't think too much into this, but let's talk about some things.
It sounds like it's raining in the background, but it might be like a crinkly chair. Is there someone sitting in a wicker chair? It's driving me nuts.
If we were to get married.
Can you guys hear this, or am I losing my mind?
Right.
Just kind of sprinkling in some things. And there was a time where Natalie asked, like, is this too much? Am I being...
I said, do I cross the line?
Yeah.
And he said, you walk the line.
Yeah.
You don't cross it.
Like, I didn't, she didn't want to be pushy about it. And like, but she was just kind of letting me know, like, a big part of our relationship is always, like, I think we like to set each other up for success. We like to communicate the things that we need in our relationships, whether it's love languages, whether it's when we're upset, like, what do we need to resolve the conflict? And then like, what, like, just the day-to-day stuff. And then when it comes to taking the next step in our relationship, like, we're just big on that communications.
Well, good for them. And look, I mean, it's like they're building a company together, and that's kind of what, like, my wife and I are kind of the same way. You have to operate thinking you are going to make it work. You are going to find ways to elevate each other with their strong suits. It's kind of like Bill Belichick, coach of the Patriots, right? He's like, he looks for whatever the player's strong suits are, and he makes them go into a position where they can soar with what they're good at. And in a relationship, you have to be the same way. Like, you're going to be good at different things, and it's not everything in your life has to be monetized, but you want to make sure the other person's not just the co-pilot to your dreams, but that you're both pursuing dreams that provide you joy and validation. Otherwise, bitterness will come in, and one person will feel more successful, and there might be resentment.
Memory that you have with Natalie where you were like, I need to wife her now. Like, this is becoming incredibly urgent.
No.
The question was there a moment when you knew you needed to wife her now?
Not really. I mean, like, I knew I wanted to propose to her, I mean, forever ago.
You know how most people are like, I knew the moment we met. Not this one.
No. But I mean, I could have proposed to her early 2022 or before. Like, I remember it was like an Instagram post at the end of,
got big plans for you in 2022.
Thank you, yeah. And like, literally, as I did it obviously to like,
it's right in there,
get those comments and those likes, but also like, I meant it. Like, there was this idea, like, did it
for comments and likes, but he meant it. I get it. I understand. The moment I knew I was going to propose was a few years before I actually did, kind of get those finances right. But we're actually at Coachella. We didn't pay for tickets. My now wife got in because she was modeling for some brand, and they had extra tickets or whatever. And we went to the back tent, and the back tent, not the main stage, but like the tent, still probably, a couple thousand people could be in there, was Chris Stapleton. Now at the time, this is, I don't know, 5-6 years ago, Chris Stapleton wasn't exactly a name yet, but he played this song called Tennessee Whiskey. And I listened to that song, and we had never heard it before, but you could feel the love between Chris Stapleton and his wife as they performed that song together in those beautiful lyrics. And I knew I was going to marry that lady from Kentucky. All right, folks. Well, that's it for me today. I'll have more content on Bachelor Rush Hour, the afternoon podcast every single day. Patreon.com/Dave Neal, where you can find all my behind-the-scenes bonus content. Stand-up tickets still available for my show February 15th with Katie Thurston. You're going to want to jump on that. And also go to Patreon. Oh, wrong button here. Go to Patreon.com/Dave Neal to get all of your extra behind-the-scenes content. All right, folks, that's it from me. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Tomorrow will be Friday, and it'll be the last day of barrel scraping season before Zach Shallcross starts his season on Monday, January 23rd. All right, folks, we'll talk to you later. Bye now.